Alright, hello everyone. My name is Disc, and this is a Mists of Tirna Scithe 23. We are Tyrannical this week, so it's going to be an exceptionally hard dungeon. We also have Sanguine and Storming. So off the top, I'm thinking, honestly, it's our Demon Hunter is my PI target for bosses, and Monk is always a strong choice for trash. We have a really good Paladin tank who mains Holy Paladin, so I really love that combo. It makes for a really good Prot Paladin. And this is a pretty standard route. We don't do any wall pulls in the maze. And everything went really smoothly, so let's talk about it. Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Using a skip here at the start, I always love to send a feather ahead of myself. Walking over that in stealth does not break stealth. We have it CC'd already, but I like to mind soothe those guys. Fade as we lead in. I want to target Arcalath first, so he gets my spectrometer. Dot everybody and start atoning the whole group. PI is on our monk. And here's the first boon. Everything's already dead. So that was a pretty standard defensive boon. Threw in a Radiance in between my 4th and 5th Ascended Blast. And in watching this back again, I should have used my Shadow Fiend here a little bit earlier just to get that cooldown rolling. But Boon pretty much took care of everything. Yeah, so with a Monk as my PI target, you want to PI after he casts Zwin, but before Bone Dust Brew. You'll get full value that way.
The Mars dark magic coalesces here. Remove it at the source.
So I would usually use Shadow Fiend on a Tormented just for the DPS. But I think I didn't notice he was available. I wasn't thinking clearly. Just DPS as much as you can there. No one got hit by anything here.
The creature is slain. Now, claim its power as your own.
I went for the movement speed here. Since we're Tyrannical, I really wanted to make sure the group was able to dodge mechanics in boss fights.
One of the more ruthless Maw-sworn draws close. Be ready.
So we have time for one more PI before the boss. Mage is not the optimal target for this, but he is in Icy Veins, so he's going to be the best use probably. I precast a Radiance into Schism.
goes the anima.
Yeah, so we're like 4 minutes in and I've not used Shadow Fiend once. I've been working on getting better about that. I notice I have too much uptime on him. If nothing else, it's DPS and mana regen. So in a 2-pack like this, you always want to stay targeted on the spectrometer. More DPS and healing. And Boon is perfect for this. I toned the group with the tank and myself last. And I Boon, making sure I land as many hits as I can. Pretty standard there. Once the schism fell off, I cast a Radiance in between my 4th and 5th Ascended Blast. Just want to cover the group before the eruption goes off. And here we go, boss 1. This is going to be the hardest boss for us, but we handled it really nicely. Put the spectrometer on our target. Open with the schism, there's plenty of time. Just trying to get some DPS out. Stay stacked with your ranged. It helps control the pools that way. And for this AoE attack, I open with a Radiance straight into Rapture. We're trying to play off of our passive Mastery boost. Increases all your healing when you cast on an atoned player. I don't really bother atoning here. There's nothing to worry about. We have Bloodlust, so we get to Nova Blast, Nova Blast, Nova Blast. A lot more damage with that rotation. It's best to play cooldowns conservatively with this boss. So I already know I'm going to Shadow Fiend on the next damage phase. So I'm holding Schism. If you want to play it safe, you can Shadow Fiend when the damage is going out. But since we're Tyrannical and we really need to push this, I try and save my Fiend for this DPS phase. Fiend and Schism. Shadow or Death can be very powerful there. Make sure you're topped off. You'll see it chunked half my health. So we are staying on the little guy here. I see I have Boon coming up again. So I make sure the tank is atoned and I'm going to Boon the best I can. I always type in party chat which direction the Mistcaller goes. I find it's easy to forget which direction he goes. Maybe that's just me. I was kind of expecting a wall pull here, especially since none of it's fortified. guess we don't have the group comp for that. So looking at my available cooldowns, the best thing I can do here is PI. Well, I was waiting to PI our monk, but he held. So I went ahead and solved the puzzle, kept my dots out, Schism and Seer just to try and help the DPS. It would have been better if I had rolled PI on our mage. It's never good to hold PI for a full fight like that, but it is going to the monk now. In a small group like this, where PI's out on a monk, they're going to die so quickly, I'm not going to bother throwing my boon into the mix. So I open by getting my dots out, retarget my first target with the spectrometer to spread the dot to the fourth guy. Go into boon. We have magic to dispel here. The best way to do that is blast, dispel, blast. Shadow Fiend is available. I roll him immediately just to get that cooldown going, and Schism for my Fiend. Just trying to DPS this guy down. After my first Schism round, I start solving the puzzle for the group. Paladin's really far away, so I grip him towards our door. So I dot 4 and spread the 5th dot off my spectrometer target. Also anticipating a magic dot to go out, so I wait for that dot to go out before I boon. It's one less interruption in that cooldown window. Yeah, this is another boon segment, so I didn't solve the puzzle for everybody. But there we go. We have a 5-pack. Dot everybody. Tab twice to go back to the first target with the spectrometer. Spread my 5th dot with a penance. And I'm just going to get a really good Schism and Mind Seer here. Refreshing my dots while I solve the puzzle. Get a Seer, check the image. Another grip for our tank. And I'm going to drink through this dot. I need mana anyway. So with this boss, being Tyrannical, I save most of my cooldowns for the intermission phases. Substantially more damage goes out in those phases. So I just push with Schism here the best I can. Not using Fiend, not using Boon. Ton of smites, roll the Penance, Mind Blast, Shadow Word Death, keeping everything on cooldown. Alright, so I toned the whole group. It's really important to spot the solution quickly. It allows you to get full value of your Schism here. So my Schism came available in the middle of this round. I opted to hold. We want that healing for the intermission. We're going to use our Shadow Fiend. Start atoning the group. Make sure I atone the tank last. Spotted the solution really quickly. Shadow Fiend and Schism. Always good to Radiance on a Shadow Fiend too. If you need the coverage, you need to get those atonements out. So we went into Bloodlust here, trying to push the phase. So it gives us another opportunity to Schism Boon. And our rotation is Blast, Nova, Blast, Nova. A lot more damage that way. Yeah, for Tyrannical, I'll always Schism here. And our party got hit by the fox, so dropped Pain Sept instinctively. Started covering the group with Rapture just for security. And drink. So I have a really handy macro I use here. Use it quite often too. Cast Levitate and Cancel Aura are the same keybind. Kind of helps you float around a little bit better. I make sure I put my spectrometer on Sagadon. I was a little bossy there. I pulled in the ads. There was no reason we needed to take that as a single. Drop PI on our Mage. He's the only one in a cooldown window. And for a pack like this, I'm going to Atone, Schism, and Boon Sagadon. Especially when the chains come out, you have a lot more targets to hit with your Nova. You get really good return on that. Another good play on the chains is to face out and spam Holy Nova. That's one of the few places I'll use it. I think it's a little bit better than Seer in that case. because you can walk with it. When you're being gripped in, you can also be casting it in the air. Yeah, that's just what I do. Alright, so I see that Boon is coming available. I go ahead and fade and put my dots on all the elites while I'm waiting on Boon. We have 5 seconds to Boon, which is just enough time to atone the party. And Schism, Boon. I will use Punt defensively sometimes. It's nice to have a break in the damage on the tank. So, real sad. I used to Feather, would have been totally okay, but the Storming got me. But the pack was almost dead. No one was in real danger there. Run back as quickly as you can. So we have a flying sheep there, that's really cool. I get all my dots out here, and this is a plenty big pull for Boon. Refresh my dots. And just getting in as much mines here as possible to help with the DPS. I always fade going into a body pull like that. It will put you underneath the tank's aggro even if he's not attacked them yet. Even if it's just a body pull. So, we just got Boon. I atoned the party in the last 5 seconds. And we're going to use a Nova Blast pattern. Get a couple dots out on the more healthy enemies. And Sear. So we have a couple more pulls here before boss. There's no reason to hold Boon. Always want to get a Sear off as those larvas are still alive. It's a nice way to pad your DPS meters. And just kill them. So here we are with a 2 pull, making sure I have my spectrometer targeted. More damage that way. And Boon is available. This is a 4-pack. That is plenty. Target my spectrometer. Waiting for Schism, just a couple seconds. Schism and Boon. Nova Blast. Redotted the one that had the most health, and I'm searing. Alright, last boss. 5.5 minutes. Plenty of time. Full mana, and here we go. Demon Hunter is my PI target. I'm keeping an eye on his frame for his metamorphosis to Q. Meta is a long buff. There's no need to necessarily PI the front end of it. So, perfect time to boon while we have these adds to hit. It'll help the return on our cooldown. One of the hardest parts about this fight, I find, is losing range on my party. That being the case, if someone's in range, I try and atone them while I can. And since we're on Tyrannical, I don't have boon. I will toss out some dots on these larvae. Give them a sear too. Helps with the healing, helps with the damage. Alright, we almost have Schism available, so I drop some mana, atone the group. Perfect time to Shadow Fiend and Schism. We have Larva again. Let's hit him with Boon. So that's one of my favorite ways to play Boon. You might have to replay it to see what happened. But because of my haste, I get one additional global after my final Ascended Blast. And in that case there, where I was the only one taking damage, I was the only one that was low health. For my very last cast before my eruption, I cast a shield on myself. That way the Ascended Eruption tossed me a heal. And our Demon Hunter's dead. No one cared to battle res him. I guess we couldn't be bothered. But there we go. That was a very good Mist 23. Super hard dungeon this week. And for a complete pug, we all really played our best. If you check the overall DPS there, everyone is above 10k. Everyone's above 11k actually. And for a Disc Priest, I pulled 4.9k. That has to be at least a 99 parse for the week, if not 100 parse for the week. Always keeping your avoidable damage low. And yeah, that was a very easy key. We got through it in less than 28 minutes. We only had a couple deaths, and they were just mishaps. Nothing really went wrong. And that's about as textbook as it gets for Mist 23. And so thanks everyone for watching, and until next time, Disc out.